In progress.
Hello, and welcome to episode 22 of Let the Story Write Itself podcast. In previous episode, I was talking about how I was led from Barcelona to Malaga and what I got up to in Malaga and ended up staying for like 2 months and really what that experience meant to me. And I wanted to talk more, expand more about going from Toronto to Barcelona, because this whole journey really, Let the Story by itself, is simply that. I didn't plan it in advance. I didn't make it happen. I simply went with it. And it's like this call to adventure was appeared where I was in Vancouver, and this idea go to Toronto was a call to adventure, and I said yes to it. And that premise of allowing yourself to simply flow is what this whole journey was about. So, when I was in Barcelona, it was similar to when I was in Toronto because I had a whole month ahead of me. And I was like, I don't know what's going to unfold. I don't even know what's happening after this, but I don't feel called to go back to Vancouver after the month. So that was like already like a deep knowing inside of me. And then when the new call from in the last week in Toronto brought me to Barcelona, I was like, I don't know what's going to unfold, but I don't feel like I'm meant to go back anytime soon. So there was this premise that I'm like, I just feel like this tidal wave, like this adventure pulling me forward. That was a very strong feeling inside of me. And it wasn't like I might not have had the particulars, okay, where am I going from here? But I always had this sense and this peace and this knowing like I'm in the right place right now. I'm exactly where I need to be. So during that last week in Toronto, as I was getting the pull now to Barcelona and I made preparations for that, and I arrived in Barcelona essentially in like March 2016, I had this very strong feeling. I'm like, I'm not going to be here the entire time. Like I feel like I'm going to be in Spain, but Barcelona is almost just the starting off point. And this was the feeling I had been getting after like a few days there. I was kind of like, there's got to be something more. Like I don't want to just be touristing and sightseeing or whatnot. So there was a strong sense of like, okay, I'm in the right place right now. Definitely Barcelona. And I went to like, I took like the underground system. They have a very extensive underground system where you can go to like all parts of the city, and like they're right by the coast as well. And then they have obviously tapas and a lot of their late night restaurants because they tend to start dinner like very late in the night. And I met other travelers, especially I was staying in a hostel. So like sometimes we just venture out together as well. So like I was having like fun and like I was exploring and experiencing Spain for the first time. I'd never been there before. And there were like, I remember like cute little cafes. I was like, wow, this is such a unique place. And just everything being in a different language and nearby parks and gardens and like vistas and viewpoints. And, like it's like I got like like a handful of days. I think I was in Barcelona for like a week or 10 days. I don't remember exactly, but like a good chunk of time where I was just exploring and kind of getting the lay of the town and the place. And I enjoyed it immensely. And then like I went to like libraries and museums and like architectural spaces and even just like places that I was staying nearby. And I think I even moved like a couple times. Like I didn't just stay in one place for the entire time I was there. So I really got like a unique view, and like similar to Toronto, it's like I would be like going to all different parts of the city that interest me. And then at some point, it's interesting because I'm not planning this trip out, right? And sometimes that's what it is. Like the information comes to you when you're already in a certain place, and like allowing that process to unfold and trusting that. So just being open to the journey itself. And either way, like I was always checking in with myself, like Marco Polo, that game of like warmer or cooler. Does this feel right now? And so I definitely enjoyed like just being out and about during the day and not necessarily go like the way that I tend to travel is very much like I'm just living there. Like I'm not necessarily like having a planned itinerary or a schedule. Like I want to go here, I want to go there. A lot of times I just be like wandering around wherever I feel pulled in a moment, essentially. So like I don't really have that type of a schedule in advance, and I really enjoyed my time there. And then eventually I got that piece of information about Workaway from that walking tour guide, and that's what led me to go to Malaga and take the train through Andalusia, train again, right? All these train rides. It's like this portal into like another adventure. And this is the key point that, I go to Malaga and I kind of show up there and then I'm like contributing to this hostel with this French couple and they set up this new they're running this business there and they're like on their own adventure as well. And I'm just kind of converging in that experience. And it just kind of all works out seamlessly. It's like all interrelated. And I find like that's the kind of big picture thinking that I like to live like life, like that context. For me, it's almost like I'm not necessarily making anything happen. I'm not of a preference of like I'm doing this and this and this. Yes, you do have innate preferences, but that's what it is. It's already innate. It's like within you. And when you are in alignment with those innate preferences, then that's where like the physical specifics might show up. So it might be maybe you're drawn to a certain place, maybe a specific event, maybe some activities, maybe all the physical stuff that shows up that might it's like a match or resonance to what's going on within. And for me, it's like I've always felt like I don't necessarily even know what that is sometimes. Like I would never even have really thought I want to go to Spain, you know, if I was asked about it or asked to consciously think of something. And that's where I really lean on my intuition because whether it has something to do with my human design, that I'm a non-specific manifester. So it means like I don't necessarily have very specifics. I have more just general overviews, like, the feelings I want to feel like joy, peace, ease, fun, abundance, play, expansiveness, all these feelings. And whatever that specific thing is, it's like for me, I don't necessarily know. Like I can't just kind of I'm also like a more of a responder. So sometimes it's like things have to be presented to me, and then I'm like responding like, yes, that feels right. No, that doesn't feel right. So hence that feeling of like warmer, cooler. It's like very being like almost in response with the universe. It's like co-creating at the same time and constantly just being in that state of aliveness and wonder and like, ooh, this feels good. Ooh, that doesn't. Ooh, I'll go here next. Oh, I'll go there. And it's just like a constant, like it's in the moment. I'm not doing things like trying to, I'm not doing things arbitrarily in that way. I'm doing things very much from an intrinsic soul connected purpose and sense of my own inner direction. So when I show up to these places, I don't feel like I'm a tourist. I don't feel like I'm just there to get something or I'm just like, oh, what am I? I feel like I'm very much like being asked to go to a certain place. Like I'm co-creating, like I'm a character in some kind of like a novel or a play or a movie or something. And it's like, okay, this is, it's like almost like Frodo going on the adventure. It's like he didn't really ask for that adventure. He didn't choose that adventure. He said it kind of just fell in his lap. It kind of just, he was chosen for it. And then he went on it. And that's kind of thing that I tend to view the life journey about as well. It's like you don't choose to go on. It's like sometimes you are just called to go on a journey and then you go and then you show up. And it's like being a character in a game as well. Who loves to play games where like those adventure games where it's not just like a Candy Crush or something, right? One of those where you have to wander the land and you're trying to like complete a mission or you have like magic powers and this and this and that. So I've always felt like, wow, imagine you're just like a character and you have like a mission and maybe you don't really know what that mission is because that mission is being given like provided to you along as you go. You have to like uncover the mission essentially as you go along, or it's kind of like it's presented to you along the way, like the path lights up as you keep going. But it's like this map, it's like this exploration, and like the world is the whole playground. So it's like okay, one day you're being called to this place, and then from there you get more clues and you have more messages and you meet people and they give you information, and then you go here and then you have to go here, and it's like who you're being at the same time and what you're doing in your own superpowers, your magic is what like coalesces and like meets up and converges with whatever situation you're in. Like you're the hero, you're the hero of the story. You're the one who's on this mission, on this quest. You're the one who's been called. You're the chosen one. You're the main character essentially. And it's like it's up to you with your own resources to essentially keep on with this mission, that your mission is unfolding as you go. And it's like you just keep showing up for it and you keep bringing your own superpowers and innate resources and resources that you pick up along the way. It's what's in your bag, this type of thing. It's like I just love seeing life almost like a bit of a game. It's like gamifying your life and having this innate intrinsic motivation, and even just this idea that it's not just you, like there is a bigger entity, like you're not, there's a, like the game overall is like an adventure that is already, it already exists, and you are like a character in the game, that you just get to play a game and you get to just show up and have fun. It's like, in a way, it's a fun game. And that's what this whole experience was for me. Let the story write itself. It wasn't so much like travel and just sightseeing and just going on vacation. I just want to, get out of my comfort zone. I just want to, maybe a bit of escapism, whatever reasons are that people might be drawn. It wasn't even necessarily I want to go see culture or I want to do this. Like I didn't really have that innate motivation in that way. That was not even like, obviously I didn't even know I was going to end up in Spain. I didn't even like have a reason to go to Toronto. I was just like in Vancouver at the time, like in a program and like just living in the city and this and this and that. And yeah, I was feeling a little bit bored. That's true. But I didn't necessarily be like, okay, I want to go here and this and that. I was just like, I was very cognizant of like, it feels like I've already seen and done everything here. There's something that doesn't feel as alive anymore. Like I don't feel as alive here as maybe I had when I was younger, where I was like so like wow, I'm like, woo, this is fun. Now it's like, so that's often a sign, a signal that change is to come or that a shift is happening or that your desires are pulling you in a new direction. So that is often something that precedes any new call to adventure or journey. So when the call to adventure and the journey did present itself by that call, go to Toronto, even though as illogical or conscious as it was, like that feeling that I was like, I have no reason to go there. This makes no sense, whatever. It was that intuitive nudge. And there's that feeling like, this is the call to adventure. Okay. Am I prepared to rise to it and say yes and go and like, be the Frodo, be like like those role playing games, like the main character, the hero embarking on that journey, that mission, that quest, whatnot. And I think that's where I got so much of that juice and enjoyment and that fun is from that state of feeling like, wow, I'm like a princess, like princess warrior or someone, just like going on this solo adventure. And like, whether I was on that train with like my luggage, my purple luggage, and like just me and like my cardigan and like my preppy ankle boots and everything. No, it was like, what was I wearing? I was like wearing my knee-high boots at the time. So it's like I had like this costume, right? I was like the main character and I had like my very specific costume and I had like my dressy pants. I was just very like preppy looking. I probably have like a photo I could share at one point, but I really should post more photos from this period of time. Because, the first account I had, I hardly ever posted many photos. Like I just kind of posted like one photo like every few days. And it's like, it didn't even sum up like all of the stuff that happened in between, right? All of the heart of the story, the main adventure, the in-between moments, like the everything. And I think for that really it's just, you know, documenting your journey is so important, and having that story where you, as you're living it, you can document it, you can share it, you can take videos, you can capture it in the moment, because that is priceless. That is something you cannot go back in time and try to capture it again, right? So it's like, don't ever worry about having too much that you've captured, because that moment will never come again, and that moment is where you capture the heart of the story. But anyway, so it's like I was like in my costume, essentially, just like my whatever I used to wear when I was in Vancouver, like floral dresses and like knee like cardigans and like all this stuff. And then I had like my long hair and just like, looking very like preppy, girly, that type of vibe. And then I'm like going on this adventure. So I felt like there was a bit of an anomaly, like a juxtaposition, like, okay. And I had like on my big luggage. Okay. I'm not just talking about like a backpacker type of, you know, style. I'm talking about like I have a freaking suitcase. It's like shiny, and it's like purple, and it's like glistening. So you can just imagine it's like I'm like this, I just look like a princess in some way. And then I'm going on like this very solo adventure, like a little bit into the unknown. So I feel like it's very brave and courageous in a way, because I'm not just like, I'm not in a group. I'm not like with a friend or something. I'm not with a partner. I'm not like on a tour. I'm not uh, any particular reason, but that call to adventure, just that juice, that aliveness of just being in that, listening to intuition. So there's a spiritual aspect to it. And so when I go on this adventure and, I show up in Toronto, and it's like, I'm like, It's like you're taking the character and you're putting them in a new setting. And then I show up in Barcelona. It's like now I'm in a new setting. It's like I'm the person, I'm like the character that's being, the setting might be changing, the background changes. Just like as if you're playing a video game, it's like the background is constantly changing, the map is changing. Maybe the resources and the stuff you're taking with you that you acquire, or the knowledge and the pieces and the gemstones and the whatever, the treasure that you're acquiring along the way, it's going to be shifting the whole time. But you as the main character, the essence, your magic, your essence, essentially, you are the one, like your superpowers, like you're the one who's called on this journey. So I felt very, very, like, in a way special, like chosen one. And I'm like, this is my journey, this is my map to write right now. This is like the map that I'm charting. So it was like beyond just like going to visit a new country or visit a new city or just go sightseeing. It was very much more about writing the story, living the story that is being written as I, and exploring the map and choosing the direction and bringing my own resources that is co-creating the path as I go along. So it was almost like this real life. It felt like I was playing like a game, like a real life game, and like one of those characters traversing through like an adventure story map or something, and like there's like an ultimate quest, and you know you have to get to the treasure at the end, or you have to go and save this person, or you have to go and unlock this to defeat the bad guy and like save the kingdom or something. One of those like very epic journeys and like heroic adventures and tales. I just love that so much because that was like the almost like the meta experience. That was like the higher level thought process that I was having, because I was like, as I was going through this, that's part of where a lot of my joy came from. I felt like I was having a very meta experience. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like a character in a game right now. I'm like the princess hero character embarking on this quest, and it's like, this is my costume here. I have like a few pieces of clothing with me on my luggage. I have like just my set of my bag, whatever's in my bag right now. And then, of course, I have my own special qualities and superpowers within that obviously I'm going to tap into anytime I need to keep going in this journey or make decisions or encounter events and this and this and that. So it was like this situation of like gamifying your life and like seeing where this is all going. And and then as I kept going, from Spain, I went down to Morocco. And then from Morocco, it kept going. Like I was on this round the world trip for over a year. And it was just this feeling of like I'm just with my one suit, my no, two suitcases. I had a carry-on and then like a large suitcase. They were both purple. And it was like, I'm just like this adventure. So you can imagine that like as I'm going through all this, it's like it's just me. It's like that story, that journey that you go on. And there's something so about that I feel so like so much warmth in, because at the end of the day, it's like no matter how many people you meet, no many places you go, no matter how many experiences you have, at the end of the day, you're still you. You are like the one who has gone through it all. Like some people might, come in different chapters in the journey. You're constantly evolving and moving through the map in different places and spaces and activities and experiences. And you are changed by that journey itself. But at the end of the day, it's like when I returned home, it was still me and my luggage. My luggage and my I was like when you look at the before and after, like when you before you embark on the adventure and then when you return from the adventure, it was like more than a year and a half later that I returned. And I was like, just imagine everything in between that occurred during that time. Like that's the part that makes me feel quite almost emotional, or like really touches me, because it's like it's not even about the specifics. It's about the whole journey that you went on as a character, as a person, as an adventurer. And that's the whole point of life as well. It's like you're on this earth to experience life, to simply go through the journey and the process. And it's like not to harp so much on the events and the specifics, because these things are always going to come and go. These are more transient aspects of the journey. They're more ephemeral, right? These are not the things that you can hold on to and grasp. Like you try to capture it in videos and pictures and whatever else you can to document it. But at the end of the day, what is the heart of the story that matters? It's the personal transformation and the journey and the growth and the stories that you have when you come out of it. And it's like the quest that you slayed, that you completed the mission, that you like, I just went on a whole freaking year and a half long plus journey around the world solo as a female. And mission completed, right? Mission accomplished, quest resolved. And it just feels like, it feels like your character has just upgraded massively. Like your character is like, to me, it has a very spiritual quality because you realize like, I've always felt like very self-assured myself, but it's like it's that quality. It's like you come into the world alone and you leave the world alone, like essentially. And in that state, it's kind of like that's what solo travel also represents. It's that metaphor that your journey, your story is no one else's to write or to tell or to experience. And that's where you just go for it. You just live your story. You share your story. You make your story that much more significant and important because it matters to you and because you lived it and because you slayed all those dragons and monsters and you went on that quest and you had all the experiences that you saw. And that's like what movies are made of. That's like what games are made of. That's what stories are made of, essentially. The whole point of life is just living the story, the adventure, the quest. So this is episode 22 of Let the Story Write Itself.